Hey y'all, it's Bethany here from Bethany Brings Books. Welcome back to my channel. So I just finished reading A Christmas Carol and I thought it would be fun for us to chat a little bit about it and for me to share the editions of A Christmas Carol that I have. This was a reread for me, and so I just wanted to do a little video talking about it just in time for Christmas. So this season has been the past couple weeks have been very different than what we were really anticipating. I've had a very good holiday season, but also the past couple weeks have been very hard. We lost a dear friend at church who her and I grew up together, and she passed away last week, and so that was very difficult. Over the weekend we had her funeral. Her loss is definitely, we have a very small church, and so her loss is definitely very significantly felt by all of us. And she was just a huge help at our church, a huge blessing, and so she's going to really, truly be missed. Definitely grief during this season that we're going through, but also just knowing our hope in Christ. And as I've been doing my Advent study, my gaze being redirected to Jesus and redirected to Christ, and once again, realizing that one day we will see her again in heaven. And we have been going through that, and then the past few days my kids have had a virus, stomach bug, so that's kind of cycling through the house. So I'm taking the time right now. Today I've been trying to clean as much as I can. I'm like worried that I'm going to get it, and so if I do, I was like, well, I'm going to try to get as much cleaning done as I can today. But anyway, so yes, the past few weeks have been definitely different than what we were anticipating, but I'm still thankful for this time of year and this season, and just trying to remind myself and reflect on the reason for this season, the reason that we celebrate. And so, as I have finished reading A Christmas Carol today, I thought we could discuss it, and I think really A Christmas Carol is definitely such a very appropriate book for this time of year. Obviously, it's a Christmas book. Just a book that really, really speaks to me, and it's just got that theme, that message. It's just a very impactful book. But anyway, first, before I talk about it, I want to show you all the editions that I have. I was thinking about, I actually have several editions, and I started collecting them before I had actually even read it. I think I read it year before last, I think, and so, but I picked up a few several years ago, and before I knew it, I had a handful of different editions, and so I thought I would share those with you guys. So first of all, I'm going to show y'all the edition that I just read out of. This is 3 different short stories by Charles Dickens, like Christmas stories: A Christmas Carol, The Chimes, and The Cricket on the Hearth. This is the Barnes & Noble Classics. It has a lengthy introduction, and I actually did not read the introduction. I need to go back and read it. I feel like I struggle sometimes with introductions because I'm so ready to get into the story, and I feel like, especially when it's a long introduction, it's like taking me forever, and I've already read so much, and I still haven't made any progress in the story. And it's a mental thing, guys. It's just it's a thing that irks me. But I would love to go back. Also, sometimes with this reread, it wouldn't have mattered, but sometimes introductions, I feel like, give away parts of the story, and I don't always like to read them before I read the story. But anyway, I did enjoy reading out of this edition. There were several notes at the bottom of each page, not each page, but some of the pages would have a note at the bottom if there was something in the book that seemed a little bit maybe obscure, or something that we wouldn't quite understand what Dickens was referring to. So I did enjoy that. But yes, there's this edition. And then I have this edition that I think I picked up from a bookstore a long time ago, or either a thrift store, I'm not sure. And this is a Signet Classic. And this one also has several other things in it. It's got a Christmas tree, a Christmas dinner, a good humored Christmas. It says that's chapters from the Pickwick Papers. So it has a few other additional Christmas little, I guess, stories in it. Then I have this. This is a Charles Dickens at Christmas. I think I either found this on, oh yeah, I got this at a used bookstore a while back, probably a couple years ago, maybe a year or so ago. And I love this edition. This is the vintage edition. But isn't that so pretty? And then this is what the back looks like. And this is actually quite thick, and it has quite a few different things in it. Let's see what else. It's got something from the Pickwick Papers, A Christmas Carol, The Chimes, The Cricket on the Hearth, The Battle of Life, The Haunted Man and the Ghost Bargain, and then several different, it looks like maybe short stories. It says from Household Words, A Christmas Tree, A Christmas Dinner, What Christmas Is as We Grow Older, The Seven Poor Travelers, from A Round of Stories by the Christmas Fire, The Poor Relations Story, The Child's Story, and then from another round of stories by the Christmas Fire, The Schoolboy's Story and Nobody's Story. So, someday I want to dive into this and read more of those. Then I have this edition, which I actually really like. This is the edition that I first read A Christmas Carol in, and this is it's a Puffin, but I think, yeah, Puffin Chalk. These are called Puffin Chalk editions, and they have a few different books in these editions of their like children's classics. But I just think that this is so pretty. I don't know, it's just so pretty to me. And then the back, it also has deckled edges. Then at the back, this one at the back has like it tells us about Dickens. I think this is more for younger readers. Glossary, and then also talks about things that were popular back then at Christmas time. But yes, I really love this edition. Then I have, several years ago, I was buying copies of Paper Mill Press books, and I collected several of the different classics in those editions, and A Christmas Carol was one of them. I also think this is a pretty edition. It's got the like gold foil. I haven't read out of this one. This is a Puffin classic. This is also geared more towards younger readers, I think. Like not the story itself. It's not abridged or anything, but I just think the book was geared towards, the edition is geared towards younger readers. This one, actually, looking at it, the interior is basically the same as the chalk one. It's just two different covers. And this one, I actually think I found this on Book Outlet. I thought this was a very unusual edition. I had never seen it. A Christmas Carol, Charles Dickens Vintage Classics. I think this might be a UK edition, I think. And this one is The Chimes and The Haunted Man and A Christmas Carol. So this is actually a pretty edition too to me. I don't know, I like that. It's purple, which is interesting. Lastly, I think this is the last edition that I have. This is actually a Seek and Find classic. I found these on Amazon several years ago, and these are pretty cool. Have Meet the Characters, and then on each page you'll have like, this is Welcome to London, and then you have to find like Welcome to London, and then you have to find the different things over here on the side. I don't know if y'all can see that, but you have to find like Scrooge, his home. So this is very interesting to me. The Fezziwig Party. So I really need to sit down and actually read this one. I think it's a very unique edition. Those are my editions of A Christmas Carol, and I just thought we could briefly chat about the book. I have my little cup right here of eggnog, and let's chat. Let's just chat about A Christmas Carol, the movie editions. What edition do y'all like? Or what is it called? Not edition. What what do you call it? What is a movie version? That's what we usually say about movies. So I actually have not watched the like BBC version. I need to sit down and watch it. I feel kind of childish saying this, but the main version I've watched is A Muppet Christmas Carol, which I know is a bit of a departure from the book. There's parts of it that are a departure from the book, but that one is just so nostalgic for me. I love it. I need to, lately though, I have like had it playing while I was doing stuff, and so I really need to take the time to sit down and actually watch that one and the Disney animated one that came out several years ago. I would love to sit down and watch both of those just through. And then I also need to watch the BBC one. I really need to sit down and watch that one. I may watch it within the next few days, maybe over the weekend or something. We'll see. But I just love this story. I feel like it is the quintessential Christmas book, Christmas story. It is just such a powerful story about Christmas and why we celebrate Christmas and how our hearts should be directed towards being a blessing to others and encouraging others during the Christmas season. I really enjoyed rereading A Christmas Carol this time through. The first time I read it was several years ago, and I had not at that point read very many classics, so I struggled a bit with Dickens. Rereading it this time, it was much easier for me. Of course, there were still parts that were a little bit, I was like, what is he saying here? That kind of were a little confusing for me. But overall, I think each time I read it, it's going to get easier and easier. And for me, this time it was much easier. I loved it. There's so many things about this that just feel like Christmas. It's so atmospheric. I think Dickens just really pulls you into the atmosphere, and you're there in London with Scrooge, and you're there looking at Bob Cratchit and his wife in their home, and you're walking the streets of London, seeing all of these delicious Christmas foods and all of the things. It's just, as you read it, it's so vibrant, in my opinion, and it just feels like Christmas. But yes, I love this book so much. I think it's just a good reminder to keep our focus on what's important. And we may not be like Scrooge and so stingy, but we can easily get distracted from the point of the season and from just taking the time to enjoy what we have, be it large or small. We may not have every year. Every Christmas is different, and some years, I've experienced that over the past few years. Christmas has changed. Each year has been different. After COVID, during COVID, that first year was when my husband passed. He passed a few weeks before Christmas, so that was definitely a very different Christmas for me. In the end, the year after that, I was living with my parents, so once again, Christmas was different. And then I think 2022 was the first year that I was in my apartment, and that was the first year that just me and the kids did Christmas morning on our own. And so it was very different, but that was a special Christmas. I'll always remember that Christmas because it was the first time that just me and the kids did Christmas on our own that morning, like woke up on Christmas morning. I'm not saying we celebrated like before that and the rest and later that afternoon with my family, but just saying, like, typically Mom and Dad wake up with the kids, and that was something that we had not done over the past few years before that, just because of everything that had happened with my husband, and we had not been living by ourselves up until that point. And so that was the first Christmas we were living by ourselves, and I did my best to make sure Christmas was special for my kids that year. And I just remember it being special. That was just a special Christmas to me, and I'll always remember it, how blessed I felt. And and then last year we were in my house. This is our second year in the house, so especially for the past few years, Christmas has been different for me each year, but I want to try to remember, and the older I get, the more that I try, and like with my kids now, try to just slow down, enjoy what I have, not stress, enjoy doing the little things, looking at the lights, riding to see Christmas lights, watching the Christmas movies, listening to Christmas music, just slowing down, reading my Bible and focusing on Advent. And, you know, my Advent study, I can get behind in it, but I try to catch up. I need to catch up right now, but just trying to really focus in on relishing this time of year, because it goes by so fast every year, and I want my mind to just be redirected on what's important, on how I can be a blessing to others, how I can shine the light of Jesus during this time of year. I think one of my absolute favorite things about this time of year is the Christmas lights. I'm actually dreading seeing everyone take down their Christmas lights, because in a season where the days are short and it's cold and everything is dead, you know, all the flowers and things are dead, the lights are just so hopeful and bright and beckoning as we ride home in the evenings, and it's already gotten dark. And I love that aspect. And I think about, as I look at him, I think about over and over Christ being the light of the world, and how he brought light into this dark world, and that we are to be the light of the world. And so all of that, I know I got sidetracked from talking about A Christmas Carol, but I do think, like I said, it's just a good reminder to, it's just a really good reminder to rethink what our focus is on this during this time of year. And I'm so glad Dickens blessed us with this book. It's just a fabulous book. Just about every year we had, so there is some of y'all may know, Focus on the Family. They do they have a radio show, and they do produce different audio dramas. And so they had a Christmas Carol audio drama that we used to listen to like every year when we were putting up the tree. We would either listen to that or Christmas music. That was really where my foundation of A Christmas Carol came from, really listening to that we listen to that every year. And so the story was definitely very embedded in my heart even before I read the book. So anyway, guys, I highly recommend reading A Christmas Carol. I plan to reread it as many times as I can. Maybe not, if not every year, at least every other year. So yeah, I highly recommend it, guys. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later, and I'll see y'all in the next video.